Nephilim hybrid, but it won't be the same as direct generation, but it'll be, they'll believe the lie that they shall not die and have eternal life, or, have extended life. Sally, are you still there?
Yes.
If you need to go, please feel free to, because I know that you're on a work schedule. Do you have anything that you'd like to add before you leave or go off? Because I'm going to ask the girls a couple other things and before we bring this to a close. But you've been patiently listening. Any thoughts or comments that you have as you've been listening?
I think the controversy itself that's over the fact that can fallen angels have sex with women today, does that happen today, really denies the times that we're in and a lack of understanding of God's eternal purpose, of the vision of the times, the end times we're in, and the whole scope of history. So the fact that we all are having this broadcast again to clarify this speaks to this whole opposition that there is. It's a satanic opposition to blind the church in where we are, because it is a fact. Fallen angels today are copulating with women, and they did that with us. As Barbara, I appreciate your comment, because I think you hit the nail on the head, that they did start with the bloodline as, like you said, as a control group, and because they did have in mind to populate, that's their whole plan, is to do away with man, because they absolutely hate man. They hate the fact that Jesus Christ became man and that man has the place that we have. And so this is Satan's attempt to destroy man. And so how is he going to do that? Through contamination. And it is in the days of Noah, as in Genesis 6. So it's pretty simple, and then I think that Doug did not implant any of this in my head. In fact, one of the things it was a struggle, because I could see, I knew it was going on. The fact that I had
given birth. Is everybody still here?
Yeah.
The alarm system at 530 9th Street West is in alarm.
We're having something interesting break-in here. Is everybody still online?
Yes.
James and the girls, all you all here?
Yeah,
still here.
That's very interesting. Something is cut in on our the cell phone, but continue on. We're back.
Okay. So the I kind of got sidetracked.
Well, when you're just talking about it's a fact that as it was in the days of Noah, it's happening today.
Right. Yeah, right. And this was nothing that Doug implanted. In fact, it took me a while to really get the courage to actually say what had happened, because I told him that I'd given birth, and he kept wanting to know who the father was, implying that it was a human father. And I kept thinking, he wants me to tell him it's human, but I can't tell him that because that's not the truth. And so it really took me a while to get up the courage to say, this is a non-human. It's a fallen angel. And it is, and that this is a Nephilim creature.
Yeah, well, when you said fallen angel, you mean the fallen angel was like the source, but the creature you gave birth to was not a fallen angel, but a hybrid.
Right. But the father of the child was not human.
There you go. Thank you.
So it took me a while to get that, because, as Susan brought out, or the others, is because it's not believable. And if there's concern, is this person in front of me who's a counselor isn't going to believe me, then us as multiples, we like to try to comply and give them something that they're going to believe.
Okay, so I'm the one that's sitting in front of you. So at the time, you were concerned that I, as the one counseling you, would even believe what you were going to say.
Right. And in fact, I thought that you wanted me to tell you the answer that this was a human father, and I couldn't do that. If I did that, I would have denied the truth, and I knew that I was being disobedient to the Lord Jesus, to my God, that would bring forth the truth of really, really what happened to me. So I couldn't deny that truth. So I chose to be obedient to the truth and bring it out and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
And so you didn't react or anything. You just, you just kind of, I don't know what you did with it, but.
Well, I tell you what I did with it. I tried to find out what this meant in terms of trauma and help you work through the trauma, and I didn't go on the air on any bite show and talk about Nephilim mothers. I just looked at this in the context of every other traumatic memory you were dealing with that caused dissociation. My goal was to see you resolve from the trauma, and so I believed it because I already had an understanding of the true interpretation of Genesis 6. Yeah. So as far as the biblical framework, I had no problem, but I just treated it as a part of a counseling setting to help you work through the trauma.
Right. In fact, we thought it was more of not a common thing that happened. We thought, it happens to maybe a select few. And so, but yet I knew at the time that there was a Nephilim project, that the cult was going to, this was Satan's master plan. He was going to destroy the earth through his army, through all the fallen angels, through the dominion, and copulating with women as in Genesis 6. And that was his plan.
Well, thank you. That's really clear, and this is what the whole focus is. I have other things down there. We could talk about super soldiers. We could talk about backbreeding. This really has nothing to do with the Genesis 6 per se, in terms of what we have recorded in Genesis 6, 1 through 4. But I would like to just each one just give any closing thoughts. So thank you, Sally, because I know you're here out of your busy schedule. You're welcome to stay if you need to go. I understand. But each one, Barbara, Connie, any closing thoughts as to, anything we've talked about, and especially what this means to our generation? I mean, this is a big thing. I mean, this is upon us. This is in our culture. I don't know how many of them are out there, but we know Satan's goal is to create as many hybrids as he can before he has to face Jesus Christ on the battlefield of Armageddon. So each one that we've talked, just give your closing thoughts on anything you think is important you'd like to contribute. So who wants to go first?
Well, I guess following up on what Sally said.
This is Barbara.
Yeah. Just in terms of for a person who would be inclined not to believe that this is the truth, I just think of, I can only give testimony to myself, but how much it's altered my life to accept that this is the truth. I don't fit into society anywhere. I have an entire life that I can't go to work and talk about. I can't even go to work and say, oh, wow, I was raped when I was 13. It's something that sets me apart from the majority of the world, except for the few people that I've come in contact with over the years that share the same truth. So it's not like you gain anything by being honest about what happened. You lose everything. You lose a connection to the rest of the world. And it's also true that this is done for Satan to replace man. I don't, the thought of the end being everybody gets a shot in the arm and becomes a hybrid of sorts is news to me, honestly. I think his ultimate plan is not to embrace mankind into the scheme to overthrow God. It's to replace mankind with creatures that are of his own making and of the making of the demons that follow him. And that is going to be the new earth in Satan's eyes. And all of his pompousness, thinking that he's going to create a race of beings that's going to replace mankind.
Yeah. I think that is I think you hit it right on the head. I agree. Yeah. Well, that's just really excellent. Who else would like to come in with before I call on you? We got a few more that haven't brought your closing thoughts or statements.
Hi. First of all, I just want to apologize for when I was trying to share earlier this evening that I wasn't very clear in being able to talk and answer questions. Just kind of where I'm at right now with doing counseling and stuff today. So for me, talking about this has always been very, very difficult. I still find myself being very uncomfortable with it when it comes up. It's just one of those things that I just don't like to talk about much. And I would have to say I'm still in the process of dealing with a lot of the trauma around it and getting myself totally excavated from the damage that was done just by going through the event of producing these sons. And I do think it's like way bigger than people know about. I mean, we're a small company of people kind of on the front lines going public with this, but this is huge. I mean, there's thousands of mothers out there that if they heard this, they would say, that's me. That describes my life. And it can be validation for them. So I think for me, that's one of the reasons I would want to go public, not because I have a need to talk about it, because those that know me know that I get sick when I think about having to even talk about it. So it's more to give validation to those who have gone through these things and have never felt like there would be anybody that would believe them, to know that you are not a liar, that there are people out there that will hear your stories, and that it's okay to come forward, and that the church, I mean, just for the church to be awakened, to not be asleep, so that when they have people in their congregations that are fragmented, that they're creating a safe environment for these people to begin to come forward. And even if you're having trouble believing what you're hearing, don't try to analyze it and pick it apart. Just think of this as a human being that's sitting in front of you, because even if they were lying, and they're not, but even if they were, then just have compassion and say, well, my gosh, what happened to this person that they'd even be telling a story like this in the first place? So for me, my desire is to be a voice for those who have not yet found their voice.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. Thank you. And I think that's important, the very fact that this is not easy. This is the last thing you'd want to do is report this kind of event. It really just validates the extreme nature and the fact that the adversary is going to do all that he can to keep this hidden. He wants the mankind to believe that these hybrid offspring are basically demons. No, they're not. They are not demons. They are hybrids.
Right.
And if you say all alien phenomenon is demonic manifestation, you're a part of the deception. If you say all UFOs are all demonic manifestations, some of them certainly are. Those glowing orbs, those indistinct light bodies, yes. But there are real craft that these entities are piloting. And so when the disclosure comes, and all these so-called theologians who say that all the UFO alien phenomenon is basically just a demonic manifestation, that's only part of the story. Right. What happens when you rebuke a physical entity or physical craft? It's not going to go anywhere. So if you are one of those people out there who say all UFO phenomenon, all alien phenomenon is demonic, you're going to be in a place where you're going to be blushing because that's only part of the truth. Those aliens are not aliens. They are real.